Hello, friends. Thank you so much for being with us. Welcome to, I think we're at episode 6, right? Of the
Yeah.
Rockstar Real Estate Report. I'd like to thank Helena Allen from Allied Mortgage Group and Megan Hatch, real estate attorney from Percy Law Group, for being with me as my co-hosts. And I'm Julie Oakes with the Results Group at Layer Realty Partners. And we are continuing our discussion about the home buying process. If you recall last episode, we were talking a little bit about money and how to protect your credit score and how to do things correctly within the transaction. And today we're going to talk about the fun part, shopping. So once you have a pre-approval from Helena, that's when we get to do the fun part and look at the houses. And here's a little caveat: it can be stressful. If you look up online, whatever search engine you use, the most stressful events in life, buying and selling a home is really up there. And we try to mitigate as much of that stress as we can, but it's emotional and it is stressful. So just be prepared for that. When we actually determine that it's time to look for a home, we want to attend open houses and schedule showings. And those are sometimes last minute, sometimes planned. It's kind of all in that you just never know what's going to happen. So please have flexibility and, and please have patience and kindness and all of those things. It's a really good idea if you can make yourself available on weekends to work with me to schedule a schedule. For going to open houses, bam, 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 bam on a Saturday or Sunday. Just, bang all of them out, right? Because you may or may not like the houses, but it's all part of the education process because you want to know what you want. You also want to know what you don't want, right? This is what Megan and Helena and I were just talking about. You want to go through your wish list, which I have for you. You will fill it out. It's homework. Yeah, there's still homework when you're an adult.
This is good homework, though.
Good homework, fun homework.
It really is, because I think we talked about this in a previous episode, but everybody always thinks about what you want in a home, but just as important is what you don't want. So especially, if you're looking to buy a condo, there are townhouses, there are garden style condos, different types, and somebody may want to be on the first floor and somebody may want to avoid being on the first floor. So different things like that. And all of those things are very important when we're going to look at homes. But again, flexibility, please be flexible. If there is a house that you seem to really like, and it may have one or two features that you're not so psyched about, let's go check it out. You never know what's going to happen, right? What do you guys think?
I
All I
totally
know
agree.
is my wish list involves the second floor washer and dryer. So that's on my wish list.
That is real life stuff.
No more basement laundry for me, please.
No, those days are gone, right?
No, I think your point is so well taken, Julie, too. What I was going to add too is you want to go visit these places because as technology has improved and photography and Photoshop, you might get catfished by some of these listings. So it's super important to go and visit and you know, maybe the wide angle lens made the bathroom look super huge, and you get in there and your knees are touching the wall. So it's
That
super
is
important.
so true. So
That is true, yeah.
the real estate photographers are really great at what they do. And what are they supposed to do? Their job is to make the property look the best that it possibly can. Now, my real estate photographer, I don't have him Photoshop or anything. It's just the actual home the way it is. However, they use certain angles and lighting, and it really makes it look good. And you really, really do have to see it in person. And I was just somewhere today. I forget even to whom I was speaking, but they were saying that a client of theirs bought a house sight unseen, and they totally regretted it. And I have to say,
Wow.
during COVID, people were doing that,
Yeah.
Mm,
moving from out of
that
state
is big.
ever. But they were buying homes, you know, maybe seeing it on FaceTime or whatever, however they did it, or just seeing the photos online. And they just really, really regretted it because it just was not in the condition they thought. And
And,
Julie,
and
can you, sorry, go ahead.
no,
I was
no,
just
go
going to
ahead.
say, you just really have to see it in person.
I was just going to ask Julie as a strategy, and you know, when I have my pre-approval in hand from Helena, and I'm excited to go out and shopping. You know, we all always hear the internet is for looking. Sometimes I find that buyers might get really excited and start looking outside their budget. How do you kind of rein your clients in? What are you telling them in terms of what metrics to use when searching online or shopping before they actually get to visit it or pick a property to visit?
Great question, because if you have a pre-approval for, just for a round number, say 500,000, people might start looking at homes at 500,000. Okay. Reality of the situation in a competitive market, which is what we have right now, super, super low inventory, which means there are many, many buyers going after very few houses. So it's extremely competitive for buyers. Best rule of thumb for that is to start your search criteria low, because a lot of listing agents, myself being one, full disclosure, it's a listing strategy that we use to list a home slightly under market value. What that does is it incites a lot of interest from the public, and it brings more people to the open houses, more people to showings, which kind of creates FOMO, fear of missing out, right? And what it ends up doing most of the time is it ends up garnering higher priced offers above
That bidding war situation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. So if you have a budget, particularly if you're a first-time home buyer with maybe a budget that's a little bit lower, I would recommend looking at properties either lower priced under your what's the word I'm thinking of? Under your top number budget. The other thing I like to do is look at properties with higher days on market. Because the ones that are brand new, they're going to have all the people coming to the open houses. Okay. But if a property's been sitting on the market for a few weeks, and it could be for a myriad of reasons, that might be an opportunity. I always say that. Look at properties with, you know, maybe 30 plus days on market. And honestly, right now in this market, for my buyers, I'm looking at properties with more than 100 days on market.
And that's why
Go ahead, Helena.
I was going to say, and that's why it's so important that your clients communicate with you well and understand the importance of having an agent like you. It's, you are thinking outside the box where a regular buyer wouldn't think, oh, it's been on the market for so long, there's more room
What's
to
wrong with it?
negotiate. what's wrong with it, or,
Mhm.
here's my max budget, but maybe I should be looking at, somewhat lower, so I have that room to negotiate up if it becomes a bidding war. All these things that and educate them. That's why it's so important to have you in their corner in that communication, because you are thinking in all these different ways to help them.
And I've had really good success with that. The other thing with higher days on market is before we even go to see a property, because let's face it, it can be really exhausting. It can be discouraging in a very competitive market to see all these properties. So if you're interested in a property, I might call the listing agent and say, hey, how's it going? What's the situation with the days on market? And is your seller client looking for anything in particular in a time frame or circumstances? Or building a rapport with that other agent is very, very helpful. I've found not only that, but sometimes they give you a little bit of a scoop on the situation, and you never know what is going on in someone's life, their particular circumstances or whatever. So I always ask, and the worst another agent can say is, I'm not going to tell you anything. And that's their prerogative too, but, on behalf of my buyer client, I'm going to ask, because you never know. And it's just, it's yielded a lot more success than just kind of, like I was saying, throwing something at the wall and seeing if it sticks.
Right.
Another industry specific thing that I think is worth touching, Julie, is the timing of when you're shopping and looking at houses, how much time you kind of have. And I know we'll get more into this when we talk about the offer, but essentially talking about what am I trying to say? The ability for second showings. Like, are you finding that second showings are really happening? If you go to an open house, what kind of should you be preparing your buyers for if they like the property?
If people are very, very serious about a property, sometimes they do second showings. However, I find this market that we have right now to be even more competitive than it was during COVID.
Yeah, for sure.
Extremely competitive. And whether you think fortunately or unfortunately, it is what it is right now. And if you see something you like, people kind of have to jump at it. You have to kind of make quick decisions. And that's just the nature of the beast right now. And that's why it's really, really important to get your wish list down and know what you want, what you don't want. What are your non-negotiables? I mean, do you absolutely require living on a cul-de-sac? Are you okay with living on a busy street? So many factors. But we're actually at time already, which
Wow.
Probably a good segue. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the property.
well, oh my goodness, that was crazy fast. So thank you everyone for spending the time with us. This is your Rockstar Real Estate Report with Megan Hatch, Helena Allen, and myself, Julie Oakes. And if you find this content valuable, please subscribe, share, like, comment, let us know what you would like to know about. Right now, we are going through the buyer process. And after that, we intend on going through the seller process. But we would love to know what questions you have, what you want to know about, what you're curious about. And thank you again. We appreciate your time. And we'll see you for episode 7.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.